came to shove, I think we could all sort of get away with.
Listen, I'm not really a person
hair.
that's in position to criticize other people's facial hair. I understand that. But AB, you do enough with the hair on top. I don't think you need to be dyeing the mustache Hulkster style.
Yeah, Nick's not real comfortable talking about people and how they look and everything. No. So this is something new to him.
It's a glass houses scenario.
Yeah.
I'm aware of this.
Nick's like, look at me, man. I'm pale, my nose. People think I'm all different types of nationalities. I'm just a white boy trying to make it. I mean, can a white boy make it? Like, that's all I'm trying to do.
Speaking of white boys trying to make it, Julian Edelman.
Back to the Patriots. Thank you for the transition. Edelman embraced the role of underdog in the AFC title game. His hashtag Bet Against Us went viral, and during that game, he was seen on the sideline telling Tom Brady, "You're too old," as they both laughed. But Cece, does playing the undercard actually work? The underdog card actually work?
In most time in sports, there are moments that it can be utilized. But most of the time it works. You are the underdog.
The Eagles last year.
I mean, you can't lie to professional athletes. You can't try to come in and create some type of story that's not there. As a player, as an individual competitor, you can do it. But Bill Belichick won't do that. He doesn't believe in that. He doesn't teach that. He talks about do your job. That has nothing to do with, do people respect you doing your job? People got a great deal of respect you doing your job. He talks about doing your job, because if you do your job, regardless if people respect you or don't respect you, you're going to win. That's the way he coaches. That's the way he teaches. Now, when you have this locker room, you're always going to have some guys or some people thinking, oh, man, I'm an underdog. People don't believe in me. Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's true. But there's a reason why people don't believe in you. You're undersized. You're under speed. You're not some big, powerful guy. So Edelman, yeah, he'll always be an underdog. He's a quarterback from Kent State. What is he supposed to be? The favorite? Oh, this guy right here was groomed for success in the NFL. Absolutely not. Tom Brady, as good as he looks. Man, that ain't the Tom Brady that I got introduced to. Tom Brady I got introduced to was a guy who got benched at Michigan for a baseball player. Then he went to the NFL Combine and looked like anything but a franchise or a guy that we're getting ready to, man, we're getting ready to bet our future on this guy. That's why you get drafted in the 7th round. Sixth round. So that's why Tom Brady will always have the chip on his shoulder. It's not manufactured. It's real. He knows what people said. He knows the type of quarterback that he's become.
And it's one of the reasons Brady and Edelman, I believe, have this kinship, is because Edelman is a legit underdog who has achieved his maximum potential in the perfect system for him. And then there's Brady, who has convinced himself that despite literally being one of the richest football players ever, who's married to a supermodel, who has been to 9 Super Bowls and won 5 of them, that he's still the doubted kid that got benched at Michigan.
Yeah, because after he wins 3 of them, people have this question, oh, who's more important, Belichick or Brady? Would Brady ever win a Super Bowl without Belichick? Then he wins a couple more. Now he's got 5. Is he the greatest quarterback ever? Is he really better than Joe Montana? Joe Montana didn't lose any Super Bowl.
What about Aaron Rodgers, who's more talented than him? Like, he can, and that's, by the way, good for him. Because that's why you work the way he does at 41, with the wealth and the success that he has. But for the team, there's 2 points I think are important. One is, it wouldn't make sense for Belichick, to C's point, to all of a sudden be like, we're the underdogs here, because the players know he don't never say we're the favorites, and we're the favorites 98% of the time. And the other reason is, last week, the reason it was unique was because they were the actual underdog. For just the 2nd time in the playoffs in over a decade, they were the Vegas underdog. They were on the road in the conference championship game against the league MVP. There were real reasons to wonder if this year was the end. 5 losses, losing record on the road, blown out multiple times, losing a game to Miami that cost them home field in the most unpatriot fashion. But because of they not only beat the Chiefs, but the way they beat the Chiefs, adding to the legend of Tom Brady in overtime and all of that, now the narrative this week is Rams shouldn't even be there. They got lucky with a blown call, and the Patriots are the greatest team we've ever seen. So that underdog script for the Eagles could propel them, because Carson Wentz wasn't coming back last year. They had the injuries. For the Pats, to me, that was a one-time thing when they actually were underdogs, not when they're a 3-point favorite over a team team whose entire roster has fewer Super Bowl appearances combined than Tom Brady does by himself.
Do you think, though, it is just a couple of the players? Do you think there's more players than just Edelman and Brady? Do you think that's the general consensus on the team?
I think there's guys that feel disrespected by us. But if people in the media that say that they're not, that it's Belichick, Brady, and 52 other guys. Yeah, I think there's that.
I think people are always looking for something. I think New England has enough motivation outside of those other things. They're very, very talented. And the players get upset when you don't speak to their talent, when you only talk about Belichick and Brady, which we do segment after segment after segment. We don't talk about the McCourty brothers. We don't talk about them, their ability to be able to rush the passer without an elite pass rusher. Dante Hightower,
like corner in football.
You know, they get tired of that.
Miss me with that. Let's get back to James Harden now. We're running out of ways to describe the historic run that he's been on. Harden poured in a career-high 61 points and had 15 boards in Houston's win at the Garden. He tied Kobe Bryant for the most ever scored by a visitor at MSG. Nick, how impressive was James Harden last night, and how impressive has this run been?
I think the most impressive thing about Harden last night was, if you didn't see the game, and it was here in New York City, and I know we all watched it. It was thankfully not a West Coast game where you got to be up till 2 in the morning. And you walked into work this morning and said, hey, Rockets played the Knicks. Guess which happened? Harden scored 21 or Harden scored 61? You've got to be right. I think people would say, oh, 61. It is more believable right now that he has a night like that than that he has an off night. In these last 5 games, Chris, he's averaged 52 points. He's scored 261 points in the last 5 games. He has made 76 baskets. None of them have been assisted by a teammate. Now, he's still leading the team in assists. He's still getting his teammates involved.
It's hard to believe that you could play basketball in the NBA and that be the case, where he wouldn't be assisted in some type of form or fashion.
Not one alley-oop.
It's the hardest way to build a score and to build a function to try to add something to your point.
It's impossible what he's doing. In these 5 games, I know we're talking about the 20-plus. Let's talk about these 5 games where he's averaged 52. He scored 261 points in 192 minutes. The other teammates have scored 324 points in over 1,000 minutes. Wow. And everyone knows what the Rockets are going to do. There it is. He's giving you 1.3 points per minute. The rest of his teammates are giving you less than 1/3 of a point per minute. Everyone knows what the Rockets are going to do. No one can stop it. And what I am going to implore my friends in the media to do is stop misrepresenting what he's doing. Oh, it's all free throws. It's okay. If free throws didn't count, you know who would lead the NBA in scoring? James Harden.
Yes.
If 3-pointers were all worth 2, you know who would lead the NBA in scoring? James Harden. Oh, everyone's numbers are inflated this year. Okay, well, no one else is averaging 30. He's averaging 36. Like, we are watching a special month of basketball from a player, who didn't get satisfied after winning the MVP and came back in the best shape of his life and added that step back, which has made him unguardable.
That's the reason why we're seeing this great basketball, is because we're talking about a guy who was already an MVP, a guy who's already great. He's added other things. His ability, we saw last night, he was able to lift off of both legs. What was that? He's a left-handed shooter. He typically jumps off of one leg. Last night, we saw him finishing at the cup, jumping off of his left leg, which is not his dominant jump leg. So his dribbling ability, his ability to be able to get to the hole has always been special. But now his ability to be able to take the contact, be able to draw the fouls, and go to the free throw line and finish off the play. Because it's one thing to get fouled. It's another thing to be able to finish it. What he's doing is very, very special, and we should acknowledge it.
And when his team needs him, Chris Paul out, Clint Capella out, he has to do it.
All right, we got to go. We'll talk more about this
like
tomorrow.
You, Jenna, when we need you.